Hello everybody and welcome back to Saxlingham. So, our worker has finished in this field. I think they may have just missed a bit over in that top left for some reason, but we'll find out when we get there. So once we've done this, we can then look to move on and we'll go into the next month. Our animals, our cows, are they all alright? We'll just put that onto cruise control and have a look. I know when we last drove past them there was food in the trough. Yeah, they've got food, but we'll need to make some silage, so that could be something to do next month as well, because we will have 3 fields to spray off, so it gives us plenty to do there. In the forest, I've done a lot of work off camera, getting everything cut up and sort of moved to the side and so on, so there's still plenty to take out with our forwarder trailer, or wood trailer, however you want to call it, but we will get there in due course in this episode. But for now, we're going to get on and get this rolled. Well, that is all the rolling done for this side of the year. So we can just get these reversed into here for now, and then we'll need them for when we put the peas and the soybeans in, which it should work out a lot better for us for the year. Now we're splitting everything up and we're not just all doing winter crops. Right, let's drop that there. We're going to have to swap these tyres back over onto our narrow tyres, which I know we won't be causing crop destruction when we do go to spray these next month, but I think to keep things right and sort of legit, we should really swap them over just to make doubly sure. So let's jump into here, and I think we're the Trailerborg tyres. Yeah, brilliant. So let's put them on. Yes, please. And then we will go get, nice to see that they're all clean. We'll go get the sprayer on, just see what's in there. So I've got liquid fertiliser in an IBC there, but what do we have? We've got 619 litres of herbicide. Right, this needs filling up, and we can actually go and use our buy station, which is just around the corner here. That silo makes a weird picture when you look at it. So, herbicide, yes please. Whoa, that was quick. Well, there's £8,500 on herbicide. So my thinking is we can take this to go to the Fent. We can do a load of timber now, just to do one load, and then we can take this back to our house. We can then go to bed, wake up, go do field 40 and get the other 2 done, which would have germinated by then. And look at all our logs. That took some work, but as far as I'm aware, that's all of that Manchurian pine is now all cut up. So we managed to drag all this to the corner here, well, to the side I should say, so we should be able to just with the chipper pick them up from here and go, and chip them. There is still the main track in the middle, that still has some timber there which we managed to to sort all that. We just need to pull it all out. So when it does come to wood chips, I think we'll do enough. Each year we'll do enough to, like, until we get bored and sick of it. So like this year, and then we can just start picking and choosing along this side as and when. So it's going to be a really good money source for us. The likes of all this timber here, this will be cleared this year, and hopefully what we clear from the track just that we're going to now. There is also some timber. You'll see that there's some timber just over there in the distance from when we first started to have a look. So let's just get this crane something like in before we get into this wood. Let's lift that up. That should drop down like so. And yeah, we'll get into here and we will just do the one sort of load out. We have some timber to get through. It's one of those things where you just started to regret my choices, thinking this is going to take forever to do. But right, we can leave this here now. We'll go jump back in the class, go to our house, sleep, and then we can get on spraying. And I'm hoping if we do one time lapse of spraying, and then one more time lapse of getting timber out, we should clear that track, and then that's everything moved that needs to be, and then it's just buying a chipper as and when we can, and then go from there. So we may need to look at getting a lorry as well and a trailer, because the amount of wood chips we're gonna have here will be astronomical to do. But right, let's get round here, and then we'll park on the driveway, why not? Park on here, and then let's just see how we need to check the cows after we've slept, or unless did we check them before? Okay, we checked them before, so 18,500 litres. Let's see what they are on after we sleep. So was it 18,500 litres? If that's what it was, I should remember because it was only like a minute ago I said it. 8 hours, we're doing 10,000 litres of food a day, which I don't think is bad at all. But right, our bank balance has gone down considerably because of that we've slept through. And I'm trying to remember, I'm sure it was in this Let's Play, a second-hand chipper came up for sale, which was dirt cheap, and it was the one that which I was favouring of going to go and get, which I'm sort of kicking myself now that we didn't go get it. Which, is there anything? Nothing really worth us having. It's nice to see that field is still staying in a cultivated state. That's very promising that we may just be able to get that for spring drilling, because if we have 2 big pea fields, we're going to make some serious money. Right, let's get this something like sorted. I'll put the times back on. We can go to ×3 and we'll get on and get this done. Now for the tiniest little sliver, I think there's just a little triangle there that that we haven't got yet. But we'll get this sprayed off and then we'll take it up to what is the wheat field, what obviously was the pea field, and we'll get a worker on to spray that for us. And whilst the worker's spraying that, we can do another load of timber, which should then clear that track and there'll be no more to lead out. And then depending on time, I would quite like it if we can get the barley field sprayed, and then it just means in the next episode we've just got some silage to go and make. One thing I have neglected to look at is putting on lime. We've got our lime factory now, so that makes a lot of sense for us to do that. But if we just set this on AI worker, right, you can go there now. So pH is good. We can live with that. We just need to figure out what we need in the fields on the bottom, because I was just looking on the map here. Is with, let's go, here we go, soil types. So for sandy loam, which these all are, it's saying that you don't need very high, 6.5 from there. But for loam, I don't know what it will be. Will it be slightly more, slightly less? But let's go to, I'll just try to find, oh, environmental score 100. How do I find out the environmental score for all my fields? Or is it 100 total? Or is it, do I have to hold over here? How do I... Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look into that to work that out. But anyways, I'll work... He's done that quick. He must be spraying the middle first. But right, we need to get back to the Fent. Okay, so here, the loam needs a bit more lime put on. So I think we should be able to get away with doing it all. But we'll go and get lime in the next episode. We'll lime every field whilst we're doing the grass work. So I think that works out quite handy for us. I could have stacked this a bit better than what I have done. But right, let's just go and we'll clear the rest of this track out, and if we've got any time or any room, there's just a few bits up there that we can bring down to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this trailer. That's too far in. Ooh, we're moving. I'm going to leave this trailer here, and we can now bring the fence back, because that's all the timber that we need to bring back. And obviously that timber that is the timber that's up against the fence there, we don't need to move that at all, because the crane for the chipper should be able to do all that. So let's just spin this around here like so, and we can go put the fertilizer spreader on here, because this can do lime in the next episode. So let's just detach that there. I love that trailer. That is one of the best logging trailers I think I've ever used. And saying that, I keep toying with the idea, and I'm saying this now because we're far enough through the episode that those of you who are still watching are, more people who like to watch what I'm actually doing, because you get, when you look at your average view duration, it's never the full episode. It's always quite short. But who out of the lot of you that are watching, please leave a comment below if you would like to see sort of like a time-lapse series of forestry. So sort of like building a forestry empire sort of thing. If that's something that you'd like to do or would like to see, then I'm more than happy to do that. The only problem is it's finding the right map. I know I mentioned a map the other day on Alma. Was it the Palantina? Which beautiful map. The only thing with that I'm not a big fan of is you have the sawmill and the sawmill and the shop are miles away from any ground, which is easy to work on. And when I say easy, it's not a massively steep bankside. I have looked at the Dark Forest as well, which that seems quite a nice map, but I think you get too much land when you buy, because the big thing is obviously doing it. I don't want it to be easy, because it's like FDR's maps. Here's some lovely maps, but you own the whole map. So the challenge of actually having to buy bits and pieces and grow from there, it's not really there, because I'd like to start off small, of where you'd either have a chainsaw, a trailer and a tractor with a front loader, or you would have a logging trailer and a very old forest harvester. It doesn't want to be too hard or take too long to do. But anyways, it was an idea of it could be something to do, because I'd also like to try promote this channel to the majority of people. I know some people don't like the whole forestry side of things, which I can completely understand. It is more repetitive than farming. But in anticipation of that, I have downloaded Terraform, which I'm hoping to start implementing in this series and in Elma itself. Well, maybe it's not in Elma, maybe, I don't know, but more in this series, to try go with realism. Well, realism to a point, I should say. Like if we were to build a new shed and whatnot, instead of just using the paintbrush and the flattening tools and all that sort of thing, we can actually go get the machines, which I can show you going through here. Would I have to go on here? So yeah, I've got a load of FS Miners mods, so we could use the likes of that, which I think would be brilliant, getting something like that into the series. That then has, what's that? Is that a batter blade to go on it? We've got that, we've got diggers, we've got rollers, we've got everything. Do some excavators. So yeah, there's a whole heap of stuff that I'd like to even put this big boy in, where it's got a ripper, so a proper mining, sort of gold mining machine. Extra, what's there? Cool. That's all I can say. Anyways, so we've got a list of all that sort of stuff to go. But just to finish the episode, I'm going to quickly go. Why are you stopped? Oh, we're going to quickly get this field sprayed, and then, like I said, then we know everything is done. I wish this entrance to Tramline was a bit easier to get to. Something more with every evil
the rush. In the whispers of temptation, we hush. Bound by desire, we'll never sway. In the realm of excess, we'll stay. With every risk we take, and chances we make, in this path we'll stray.
And there we go. That is another field now done. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you've all liked and enjoyed the video, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye for now.